detailed image into a striking 3D illusion laser project? In this tutorial, we'll create one step by step in Aliencell space using the AliencellX1 60-watt diode laser machine. Start a new project and open the AliencellX1 workspace. To see exactly where your material will sit, use the snapshot and device camera to view the laser bed behind the canvas. You can also click the AliencellX1 tab to view a live preview of what is happening during each step inside the machine. Enlarge the preview to inspect the work area. Then, load your material into the Aliencell X1. Place the sheet flat on the bed, align it in the camera view, and secure it with the 4 magnetic clamps so it cannot move during engraving or cutting. And finally, close the LED. Refresh your camera view by clicking the snapshot button. Now you can design directly on the real machine bed instead of an empty grid. Next, choose point-based distance measurement and select a reachable point on the workpiece. This sets the focal distance and creates a reliable reference for your material. With the material positioned and focused, import the artwork for the illusion. Click the Image Import button at the bottom bar, browse your computer and select the file. The image will appear as an editable engraving object, ready to place on your material. Position and scale the design to fit your available stock. Keep the image selected and enter the required width and height. Set the design to 150 by 208.75 millimeters. Then use the camera background to confirm that it is positioned correctly on the secured sheet. With the image selected, adjust the image controls instead of engraving the original image as is. Fine-tune clarity, brightness, contrast highlights, and shadows while watching the selected artwork. Balance bright areas against the darker relief details. Then, refine the shadow range to create a more dramatic 3D illusion effect. For convincing depth and facial detail. Now create a separate cut boundary around the image. Open the outline tool and set the offset distance for the finished piece. Confirm the outline, then use the new vector object to keep the perimeter cut independent from the image engraving. Order your layers so the image engraves first, followed by the cutting layer. This helps ensure the design is engraved correctly before the material is cut. Once the artwork looks right, configure the engraving settings for your material. Open the advanced parameters. Choose basswood plywood with a 6mm thickness from the materials presets. Confirm the preset as a dependable starting point for the Aliencell X1. Adjust the engraving power, and set the line interval for your preferred detail level, and keep Jarvis engraving selected for the image operation. Then switch to the vector cut operation. Enable lowering the focus so the cut for smoother cutting results. Set the vector cutting options, then enter the required lowering distance. Check the cut configuration before continuing, making sure both the engraving and outline are ready for the selected material. Before starting, confirm that the design is positioned correctly on the material. Open the machine preview to inspect the loaded sheet. Then run framing to preview the job boundary. Once the placement looks correct, start processing with the engraving and cut operations ready to run together. Make sure not to leave the laser unattended during the laser engraving and cutting process. Always monitor the machine closely to ensure safe operation and respond quickly to any unexpected issues. Your 3D illusion project is now ready to engrave and cut with your laser. Subscribe for more helpful Aliencell X1 laser tutorials and project guides.